leaves us chanting and singing and telling of beads by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, born in 1861 and died in 1941, was a prolific writer. He wrote poetry, drama, novels, short stories, and non fictional prose, in addition to writing both the lyrics and music for a large number of songs. He is known for his collection of songs Geetanjali, published in 1912. He was also an ardent social reformer, a political activist, an educationalist, a painter, and a translator. Tagore holds the distinction of being the first Asian to get the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. Introduction to the poem. Leave this chanting and telling of beads is one of the finest poems of Geetanjali, which bring to our memory the treasure of Indian religion and philosophy, that the real knowledge of the self lies not in rituals and blind adherence to one's own faith, but in doing works and understanding the dignity of human labor. Tagore wants the religious minded people to go beyond the four walls of their shrines to where God really exists. So this is the real truth, or the real line which he wanted to tell the religious minded people. He wanted them to leave the four walls of their shrines and really to go to the places where the really God lives. The poem leaves us chanting and singing and telling of beads. Whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doors all shut? So, this is a question he is asking. Okay, he's asking the people who are religious enough, always who sit behind the shrines, the closed rooms, and start, chanting the religious songs. Okay, this is what he is trying to ask them. Tagore bids the holy man of power to abandon the outdated method of chanting, singing, and murmuring loud prayers by holding tight the chain of beads one by one. God is not in the dark chamber where the so called devotee is meditating and chanting hymns, turning his back upon the world of toiling humanity. So, he says very clearly, don't go and sit and chant, sing and murmur and doing loud prayers by holding tight chain beads one by one, pushing them one by one. Don't do all these things. He says God is not there. God is not in the dark chamber where the so called devotee is meditating. He is sitting and meditating. He is not there. Okay, turning his back upon the world of toiling humanity, he just asks them to turn and see where the human beings are toiling. They are crying, they are doing hard work, so much of labor is going on everywhere. Just turn back yourselves and look into the world, to the poor, those who are toiling. Okay, there are so many laborers whom they can look into instead of sitting inside four walls and chanting. Open thy eyes and see thy God is not before thee. You just please open your eyes. Don't be sitting and chatting there. Open your eyes. The God whom you are praying for is not before you. He is there where the tiller is tilling, the hard ground, and where the path maker is breaking the stones. He is not before your eyes. Please open your eyes and see. You are searching for God, sitting there, closing your eyes and telling some songs, some hymns. Okay, you people are sitting and chanting. Please don't do that. Here, there is not the God is. He is there where the tiller is tilling. Okay, where he see, you can see the picture. He's tilling the mountains. Okay, he's breaking the stones, and where pathmaker is breaking stones, only in these places you could see God, not where you are sitting and chanting. God is everywhere, but his face can be mysteriously seen by the eyes of one's heart in perhaps some of the most unusual places of the world. According to Tagore, God stands with the tiller who's tilling the hard ground and the pathmaker who's breaking stones in the open air. is with them in sun and in shower, and his garment is covered with dust. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him, come down on the dusty soil. So this is what he is trying to say. He is with them in sun and in shower. Okay, who? The God, the Almighty. Almighty is where they is with them in sun and in shower. Okay, that is in sun and in rain. And his garment is covered with dust. You could see after a long work of hard work, all his garments, his dress becomes dusty. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him, come down on the dusty soil. Please put down all those hard work which you're putting up there. Come out of that and be with the dusty person over here. God likes you to be with them rather than sitting and chanting there inside the four walls. He is with both of them in the heat of the sun and the shower of the summer rain, yet strengthening them unknowingly. So he says that he is no one but God. God is with them. Okay, if you go help them and do something for them, for the laborers who are working in the sun and under the rains, you are actually you're going to help them. You strengthen them unknowingly. Tagore even imagines that in the process, even God's garment is covered with dust. Sometimes, when he's going to imagine all these things, he feels that they are God itself because he feels that their garments is covered with dust. That means they are gods. He is openly saying that the laborers, the people who are doing hard work, who think that their work is their first and foremost thing, are gods rather than some people who sit there and do chanting and thinking that God is there and they would come and help them in some way or the other. No, God is there who does the work. God is always there, one who does works. So he advises the holy man to at least try to imitate God by removing the holy mantle, the mendicant's loose robe, and set foot upon the dusty soil. So please, for God's sake, he advises the holy man to leave all those things which you imitate there, you sit and do all the chanting there, leave all those things and come down, okay, and start and set down into the soil and do some hard work, or take care of the laborers who do some hard work, which would automatically, or which would in a way or the other be helpful for them, and you would in that way see God there. Deliverance. Where is his deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. So, deliverance. What is that word deliverance? That is which you make it out of your own liking. Okay, the deliverance. Where is this deliverance to be found? Where is this delivery to be found? Where do you have that deliverances? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. So when you take up the deliverance, when you take up that whatever God has given you with the right thing, and if you are liberal enough, okay, to do everything in a rightful manner, okay, his bond is always with us forever. See, after all, man's ultimate spiritual goal is to seek God's deliverance. That is, if your goal is to seek somewhere or somehow you wanted to seek God. This is a liberation of the soul from the cycle of birth and death. See, you are living throughout your path of your passage of time, between that cycle of birth and death. You want to see God. This is what you all do there by chanting and singing hymns and all those things. God has bound himself in the process of creation and accepted his joys and sorrows. So don't think that only in joyful people, or you people sitting and chanting, God is going to be there. No. He is both in joys and sorrows. You can see God. You should learn it the hard way to seek and find the face of God amidst the face of the world. So when you're cracking it hard to seek and find the face of the God amidst the face of the world. So face of the world is nothing but that hard work in which the people sit and do. The hard laborers in the dust, the soil, and the tilling, everywhere you could see God. So go and work with them. Go and take care of the ones who are helpless. So when you show kind and good thing to them, you can see God there. Okay, this is what he says. God does not listen to his prayers, for he is with the poor and the downtrodden. He doesn't go and listen to you because he is there helping the poor and the downtrodden. So you to go try to show care and love for those who are in the economically lowered category. So this is what he tries to. So come out of thy meditations and leave aside thy flower and incense. What harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stained? Meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat of thy brow. So please come out of those meditations, leave aside all those hymns and all, leave your essence. Okay, you just let your essence, your flowers and all those kinds of beautiful smells and all, which leave all that. Okay, come out of that. What harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stained? What harm? If you go help them, is that anything going to happen to your dress and it's going to be torn or and it's going to be stained? Let it happen. Let it harm you. That is nothing wrong at all. Meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat and thy brow. Please meet him. Meet those laborers. Meet those people who want you badly. Go help them. Through that you would find your God. This is what he says. Leave all those chanting and come and help the poor. Because one way when you help the poor, you will see God. Because he says God doesn't live in the shrine. God lives only with the one who is working hard. So this is what is the main line of your poem. To be godly is not to be restricted to self meditation and needless ritualistic flowers and incense, but let his clothes be tattered and stained by God's sake. So, for God's sake. So here he says he need not be there with the meditations and rituals showing, giving him flowers and all those things. Just be with the ones who need you. Be with the ones with the tattered clothes and stained clothes, because God is there. If you help them, you can get the blessings of God. This is what Tagore tries to reveal in this poem, because he wanted equality. He doesn't wanted people simply sitting and chanting and the rich, because those period untouchables, there were a lot of difference between the higher caste and the lower caste. So many things are going on. So he just wanted to put it in a different, because spiritualism, fine, spiritualism is there. You go at the back of God, or you just want to always sing hymns and perform pujas and all those things, fine. But he says very clearly, God is not there. God is actually one in where one works. Okay, in the laborers of the poorer, you can see the God. So if you help them, you are seeking the foots of God through another way. So this is what he is trying to put forth in this poem, Leave This Chanting. Again, my content courtesy was by Professor Christy Joseph, ma'am. Thank you for your PPT, ma'am. All the best, students.